Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Mevo Live. I'm Joe Capart, and I'm joined today by Joseph Pisani, and we are from the Logitech for Creators Customer Success team, and we are ready to talk about all things Mevo. Join us in the chat if you have any questions. Let us know where you're watching from. If you have any technical questions, of course, always be sure to go to help.mevo.com, and you can sign up there. But Joseph, why don't we talk about your setup for today?
Absolutely. Sounds good. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my setup today. I'm coming to you right now using the wireless webcam application with the Mevo. And I am for audio, I have my blue baby bottle, which is running to an audio. Actually, excuse me. My blue baby bottle is actually running to a compressor so I can level out my voice a little bit. That compressor is then going into an audio mixer. So from that audio mixer, I'm actually splitting my audio signal into a bunch of different cameras, right? So I have about 3 cameras set up. So I can actually come out of there using a headphone amp, which if you've watched the show before, you've definitely heard me talk about it. I always say I'm going to be able to show it, but it's just in such a unaccessible spot right now. But I'm able to do it and show it and distribute the audio to different cameras. So I'm doing everything through hardwired. Whereas if you watch the show before, I know like will do things through NDI. So you do have options with this as well. But then that's coming right into Melon, which we're using now, which is fantastic.
Yeah, and I am using the Mevo Start. I'm using the Mevo wireless webcam. For my audio, I'm using a blue baby bottle going into a Xenix 802. That's outputting directly to my computer. And then for my monitoring, I'm using in-ear monitors from Ultimate Ears, and Joseph is as well.
That's right. I am as well. Yeah,
I almost forgot.
So for those who don't know, yeah, and it's so comfortable. I forget I even have them on sometimes. So these ears were monitors were custom molded to our ears from UE. We actually did Joe did a demonstration on this a couple of, I guess now last year, right?
Yeah.
Where he actually showed the molding process. Really easy, really intuitive, and I'll tell you that I'm very, very happy with the results I got. So
yeah, same.
Shout out to UE.
I'm not sure if maybe like one of them might be too big. I don't know. Are they supposed to? I've never had in-ear monitors, so are they supposed to stick out just a little bit?
Well, you kind of find a sweet spot. So if you push them in a little bit, if you pick your ears up like this a little bit, like you just grab the tip of your ears, you actually feel like the pressure will like the.
Oh, you're right.
It'll go away. So if you pull that up a little bit, but then just kind of put them in snugly, you don't want to shove them too far in and just let go of your ear. What'll happen is your ears will kind of close over it, and it's kind of weird to get used to because you hear your inner voice way more, right? So it sounds like a low end. I almost sound like, to give the viewers kind of what I probably sound like, it probably sounds like this. Can you hear this back? I took all the high end and mid range, so it kind of sounds.
No, that's exactly what it is. You can hear literally everything you're saying.
Yeah.
That's a great example.
But
definitely
what's coming in, it's clear as day. Yeah,
I mean, there's nothing wrong with these. I absolutely love these headphones for other things, but it's just not great for a live stream. Like, it's just so bulky.
Yeah, I mean, when you're comparing it to something like this, I mean, there really isn't a comparison.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Awesome. Let's take a look at chat. It looks like we've got Heine in there. He's back. Fred the Hippo is back. Derek is in Zambia. Is that how you say that? Zambia?
Zambia?
Sure I bet it is Zambia. That sounds that makes more sense. David Massey, Happy New Year. Will, the Council of Joe. Will is in here. Nice to see you again, Will.
Up, Will.
Will's on Twitch. I love it. Speaking of which, if you guys are not watching on Twitch, I highly recommend it. We've kind of played with the idea of going primarily on Twitch. So go check it out. I'm telling you, it's higher quality. And if we make it the platform of choice because of that, we definitely don't want to lose you. So go check it out and join us. And it's got a lot of cool emojis too, so it's just kind of fun. David, Florida, 78 degrees. I am jealous.
David, literally my entire family is visiting Florida right now without me. So I am definitely jealous because it's about 17 degrees right now where I am.
Yeah. And we were just talking about how they're talking about the snowstorm that's supposed to be coming, but apparently it's not hitting me. Is it going to hit you?
I don't even know. I try to just wait till I wake up in the morning and there's snow on the ground at this point.
I'm just excited. I got to use that electric snowblower That thing dominated the block. I was helping everyone out. It was fun.
Oh, nice. Nice. Making friends on your block. That's good.
Yeah, I have to. I'm the new guy on the block. I have to make some friends. Holy cow, our chat is flying. All right, so our first serious question.
Here we go.
All right, so we got LA Base asking, I have a very serious question. I told you it was a serious question. I already found the way to do live streaming on Instagram directly with the Mevo Start. All you need to do is add parameters 9/16. That's all I ask. When will you do it? All right, so the Mevo Start does not stream to Instagram natively. It does not follow. It's not part of Instagram's terms of service. Does not allow you to use anything other than the Instagram app to stream. So we're probably not going to add any features that are going to improve your opportunity of streaming to Instagram, because that's going to increase your opportunity of getting banned from Instagram. And we don't want to be any part of that. And then if Instagram ever allows us the opportunity to stream directly, we want to make sure that we're on good terms with them, and allowing our users to kind of cut corners and break their terms of service is not a good way to stay on their good side. So probably not going to be implemented. Now, if there's other platforms that are 9/16, which I think TikTok might benefit from something like that, then who knows? You know, and did Streamlabs integrate TikTok? Like, is that a thing?
I don't know. I'm not sure about that. But also, it's also, there's a lot more to it than just adding the 9/16 parameter. So really, essentially what you're saying there is you're just changing your aspect ratio and just turning it on its side, right? Because the normal aspect ratio is 16:9, 16:9. So when you're flipping that over, now keep in mind, a lot of Instagram is also 4:3, 4:3. So that's actually standard definition ratio. So that's just the ratio conversation. Then it's just a matter of getting the stream into Instagram to be able to stream live. So it's a little bit more complicated than just turning the ratio over.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's definitely more to it for sure. All right, let's move on. So we've got Samuel. Does this Mevo camera have a hardware built for a encoder for live streaming? Have a hardware built for? So the Mevo camera all do their own encoding. Now there is one scenario where that's not true. And that's when you're using Mevo Multicam app, and that's when your mobile device that's running the Multicam app will be the encoder. So yeah, if you're using the single cam app, then yes, the Mevo does its own encoding. There's no additional hardware required. If you're using the Multicam app, your mobile device is doing the encoding. No additional hardware required.
Right. And if you're doing any type of streaming on YouTube, you may see a warning about the encoding, which is YouTube is looking for, I guess, a certain what's the word I'm looking for? I guess just a certain encoder,
right?
But
or like frame something.
Yeah, so it'll give you a warning, but it won't interrupt your stream and it won't degrade your quality or mess you up at all. It's just a matter of what YouTube is requesting, but the Mevo doesn't have it available. So, but as you can see, if you're watching us on YouTube, it works just fine. So,
yep, absolutely. What's up, Joe C and Joe P? You both sound amazing. That is courtesy of Blue. Blue is doing wonderful things here at Logitech, and
that's
we
exactly what I want to hear.
Yeah. We stress. I'm telling you, if you all could be around for what we put into these live shows, we've gone from Livestream Studio to OBS Ninja to Streamlabs to StreamYard to Restream to now we're at Melon. And I think
NDI Bridge.
Yeah, we've tried Skype. So we've tried just about every tool that you can think of. And we finally have Melon here. And Melon, there were a couple hiccups on the last show, but we all ended that show feeling very confident and very stress-free. So if you're feeling like you're having a stressful stream, go check out Melon. It could probably ease some of that stress up for you guys.
100%.
Fred says, stay on YouTube. Yeah, there's a conversation to be had for sure. Because YouTube's not bad quality. We've not had... No. I think the only... Yeah, it's going to be a long conversation, Fred. I wouldn't say we're going to absolutely only be on Twitch, but I would definitely check out Twitch. And I think that's more so for the user experience opposed to the other platforms. And we are not sponsored by Twitch, although... Twitch and Logitech has worked together in the past. We're saying that from user standpoint, we personally enjoy Twitch and it's just better quality.
All right.
Jim. Jim needs to catch up on our videos.
Sounds good to me. Softball season coming up.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff. Game Changer too. Game Changer's been integrated. I know Sideline HD is getting more improvements. I'm excited to see what everyone comes up with during the baseball softball season. It feels like it just ended too, because you know, like Victor's daughter does Q. I don't know, Victor's in QA.
Mm-hmm.
So Victor's daughter plays softball, and he's always posting about it. It feels like it was just like yesterday, like not that long ago when he stopped posting about it. But he's on the West Coast too, so probably a little bit better weather.
yeah, for sure. But it's good that you bring this up too. So for those of you that if you're not in our Facebook groups yet, we have a Mevo customer group. It's all specifically Mevo stuff, and there's a ton of people there using the Mevo for softball. So there's a lot of like good best practices, interesting solutions, creative solutions for getting different angles and really seeing the field. So if you are looking to do softball stuff, make sure you check that out on the Facebook group.
Absolutely. My one night only says, "Hi guys, thanks for all you do to make us better." I'm from the UK. Not a problem.
Awesome.
Yeah, we want to make sure that we're improving everyone, making things easier, because we're not just employees of Logitech and Mevo. We are users of everything you're doing. So we know how stressful things can be. And if we're stressed, then we know other people are stressed, and we want to make it easier. Everything. We want to make everything easier. Ben's late.
Hey, Ben.
Welcome back, Ben. Nice to see you. Yeah,
let us know how we're looking.
Yeah, absolutely. Here, you can have this one. I'm going to take a look at this ticker setting, see if I can get that switched around a bit.
Sure. Can Mevo camera be mounted on a ceiling and wirelessly synced together? Yes. So the whole basically philosophy for Mevo is to do things wirelessly, right? You can absolutely mount it on a ceiling. It takes a 1/4-20 adapter. So I'll show you what that looks like right here. If I have something to unscrew this with, which I don't. So you just have to look at it. It's a little tight in there. So this adapter can actually flip over. It comes out. You can do basically any common tripod or, grip mount or mic stand to mount this basically wherever you are. I know there is a lot of grip mounts that have like the appendages or the movable arms that you can kind of wrap around like posts or rafters or things like that. But you do have options as far as how to connect the Mevo. There's also a setting on the Mevo. So here, that's what that looks like.
Oh, there you go. I was like looking around. I'm like, I have all these Mevos and not a single one of those.
Yeah. So that fits in here on the start. And you can also flip the camera, flip the image too. So if, for example, I actually have one right next to me that's upside down hanging this way. You can flip that image. So if you are hanging from the ceiling, that'll help as well.
Yep. All right, Smyrno. I do have a question, very important one. Can we get an update where we can add multiple lower thirds in one shot or a different lower third per video cuts? I have a podcast. I would love the name of my guest to show every time I chose the shot that he is in. Don't know if I explained it good. No, I mean, I think it makes sense. Yeah. So you want to be able to show a lower third every time you switch to your guest, or anytime your guest is shown, you can have a lower third for you and your guest. Kind of probably similar to how, I've got my name here and then Joseph has his name here. I mean, there's probably some ways to do that, especially in multicam. I mean, you can actually do it technically in Mevo 2.0. You just have to have a full screen graphic that's transparent.
You do a full screen overlay in both apps. The issue is, I think what he's asking is he wants to be able to switch the shot,
like have the Streamlabs scene.
Yeah, like a scene essentially. That is something that I know it has been discussed because I've discussed it with the software team. It's definitely something that we're going to be looking into because it is a great idea. But now we're expanding even more, right?
Yeah.
Like the UI of the Multicam app. So there's a couple of things that are taking priority right now. But that is something that we have discussed for sure.
Yep. Samuel says, can you stream to Rumble? So I've never used Rumble, not real familiar with it, but if it allows RTMP, then yes, you can absolutely stream to Rumble. But as far as the direct integration, it's not integrated. We only have the main platforms out there being Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Periscope's gone.
Yeah, Periscope's got Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn,
Vimeo.
Vimeo, and then RTMP, which you can go to like Amazon or wherever else you want to go.
Yeah. So, I mean, even our direct integration with Game Changer is really just RTMP. So, if Rumble supports RTMP, you can do the same. Nick says, Josie, my old friend, that PC looks amazing. Thank you so much. I actually have a hole in my wall. I need to.
I didn't even notice that.
I need to 3D print a cover because, yeah. But I don't want to like get rid of the hole yet. I don't want to patch it because the thing is, like for example, I've got a Go XLR showing up today. I've got to run two 50-foot cables from there to here. So I want to have somewhere I can feed it through because there's like a horizontal diagonal board in there that I have to feed it through. It's so weird. It's such an old house.
Yeah, it's not a straight run.
Nope, unfortunately not. Victor, what program do you use for live stream to 3 platforms at the same time? For today, we're using Melon. There are a lot of different platforms out there. So Vimeo is directly built into the Mevo app. Melon has it directly. And then we've got things like Restream, Caster. But so far, Melon's been great because just like Restream, we have all of our chat in one screen. And it's free. And I don't think multi-destination is, but it's definitely affordable at the very least. George says, is Mevo planning to make multicam available for webcam? So like he wants the web output multicam to webcam.
Right. Correct. Yeah. It's a great idea.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's not something we've announced. If it comes, then awesome. But we don't really. Basically, the only announced plans that we have are on Mevo.com under multicam. And that includes in and out NDI. That includes advanced audio processing, like audio options for multicam. Picture in pictures is there. There's one more I'm missing.
Yeah. Picture advanced audio.
They gotta have a computer.
NDI, and was that?
I did NDI in and out.
Okay.
Let's scroll down. Okay.
But it's important. It's a great question. So there's a lot of things that you have to consider when you're going multicam to webcam. Anyway, you want to get it out, Joe? You found it?
Yeah, it's video playback.
Video playback.
That's a big one too. Everyone wants that, and I forgot about it.
Yeah, it is. But the thing to consider with multicam for webcam is the multicam app is running off of the phone, right? So now what you have to do is you have to connect your phone essentially wirelessly to the webcam app on your computer, and then you have to keep that all in sync. So not only do you have to keep the 3 cameras in sync, you have to keep the wireless feed to your computer in sync with those 3 cameras. So it is a very complicated process, but it's definitely something that that has come up before, for sure.
Yep. Leslie asks if this is Melon. Yes, this is Melon. We absolutely love it. It's been completely stress-free. Big fan. Matt and Crystal says, I like how Mevo has made it easy with the Mevo and Mevo multicam apps for those of us novices to streaming church services, ball games, etc. No way I would have the knowledge to buy a setup to do all the Mevo does automatically. I feel that sentiment. One, I'm happy that you feel that way because I feel the same way. I do not have a background in production. Now, a lot of our team does. I've done streaming myself and I've done things like that, but it was as simple as like a Logitech C920 and right. Streamlabs. I never really made it, and I couldn't do that, right? Mevo really relieves a lot of stress off of a setup like that even. But yeah, I mean, going to a ball game with simply a camera and a phone, I totally could see that point of view. I feel it stress-free a little bit.
Yeah, and the challenge for us too is to continue to make it user-friendly, right? Because like, look at the last 3 questions. Like, we're trying to add features that are complicated features. Like normally you would need some type of, broadcasting software to accomplish this, and we're trying to do it in an app. So there's that line of we want to make sure it's packed and you have all the opportunity to do things, and then we also want it to be easy to use and easy to be explained. And
yeah, so
there is a line that we have to toe there, which is why we do these shows.
Yeah, it's definitely like for first time users, it can be a little a nice learning curve, but once you get past that, you're in a good place.
Absolutely.
So Brian says, hey guys, we've been streaming through Facebook, our Sunday morning church service with One Mevo, and we have a video we want to show in our service and would like for it to show in the stream instead of our recording, or instead of our recording it is projected on the screen of the sanctuary.
Gotcha.
So you want to show it on your actual production opposed to recording it that's being projected, recording the projection. I mean, outside of using something like Streamlabs, there's not really any other kind of suggestion. Use your Mevo as NDI source, go in the Streamlabs, or use your Mevo as webcam, wireless or wired, in Streamlabs, and bring in your Pro Presenter into Streamlabs as well. Right. And then eventually, when Multicam has video playback, then you could do it directly there. But for now, you're pretty limited on your options on bringing your video in. At least,
and that is something we're working on for sure.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah, I think the idea behind it too is to bring in the video the same way you would bring in a graphic, but there's a lot of things to consider there: storage space, access, quality, like if all that kind of stuff. It all matters.
Yep.
Where'd the ticker go? The ticker disappeared?
I took it away because the questions. It was bumping the question up.
Okay.
Like these big questions, they don't fit below very well.
Kicks it up.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep. Yeah. So I just started off for a little bit until we're good. All right.
Good.
Happy New Year's, guys. From Jim. Any updates on larger SD card being compliant with the Mevo Start? I'm curious if a 512 gig would work now. I use a 400, but that gets max recording these softball games over a weekend. Wow. Also, any updates on changing the naming of the recordings, or perhaps the date of the recordings? So here's the thing. So we've tested up to 400 gigs, but we have had success with 512. We've had success with a little larger than 512, but we simply don't use cards that large, so we can't recommend them. We don't use them that often to be able to say it's stable. Most people who have had issues with their SD cards are using no-name brands from Amazon, like a terabyte for $20. Yeah, that's not going to work. Most people who have issues with larger cards are using cards like that. Now, if you're using like a Samsung or I can't even think of any of the names right now. What else we got in here? A SanDisk. If you're using something like that, a quality
those
brand.
Those are the only two I ever recommend.
Yeah,
SanDisk.
Samsung and SanDisk. If you're using one of those, then you could definitely use a 512. You might be able to go larger. But if you intend on going larger, stick with those two brands. As far as changing the naming of the recordings, that's not something we can do yet. I'm not sure if that's something it's something we can do. I just don't know how high it is on our priority list right now. Mm-hmm. As far as changing the date, that should be based on the system writing time from the Mevo. So if that date's wrong, then that's strange. As far as maxing, I'm more concerned about you maxing out 400 gigs over a weekend.
Yeah. I mean, I would suggest changing your recording format. Like if you're recording in 264, switch that over to HEVC, and then you'll be cutting that in half. Yeah. So, and if you're already doing that and you just have that much footage, then that's just you just have to get more memory cards.
That's just crazy. I mean, it's just crazy. Like how long are you out there on a day? How many games you doing in a weekend?
Yeah. But definitely look at the recording format, because that'll definitely save you some space for sure.
David says, so can we call you melon heads? I mean,
if you really want to.
Whatever. I mean, I suppose. Here we go. Let's see what happens here. Derek says, hey guys, we had 2 experiences while streaming where the Mevo Start hangs until we had to restart. What do you think could have happened? Unfortunately, way too much information, not enough information. There's way too much stuff could have a play in the Mevo having issues, unfortunately.
Well, you know what? Let's go down the list. It could be a network issue. It could be a UI issue. It could be your app was frozen. It could be your phone doesn't have enough RAM to run the app, and that could hang things up on the camera. It could be the camera was, things are moving too quickly. Like if you're resetting or restarting the camera back and forth, something like that, it can lock it up. Generally, though, a hard reboot will mitigate a lot of that kind of stuff. But open up a ticket and give us more detail. We can dive a little bit deeper. Yep. Help.mevo.com.
Boom. Heidi says, direct integration in Streamlabs? I hope so. I hope that's where we end up. Because I know a lot of people still use Livestream Studio, which has direct integration with Mevo from the days that Mevo was founded by Livestream and owned by Vimeo. So I hope we go down the same path and Streamlabs integrates us directly, opposed to using like NDI. We could use basically like the wireless webcam function, like the way that it communicates. Being able to use that with Streamlabs would be awesome. I mean, I would love that. I just want it so bad. I just want that so bad. Jim says softball ended December 1st, started up Jan 1. Wow.
Wow. So there's no break there. Just Merry Christmas, back to work. All right. Happy New Year's.
Crazy. I'm about to get started. I thought I had coffee and enough coffee on me before 2 o'clock. Apparently not. Samuel says, will LED lights ever come built into the Mevo camera for low light situations? Probably not.
That's an interesting idea, though.
I mean, there's solutions out there. There's no reason to kind of hack it into the camera.
True. And if you think about it too, like think about the surface area, it would essentially be like the same light that you would have on your cell phone, which could be bright, but that's not going to necessarily be the best lighting for your situation. And you got to also think power consumption. I mean, there's a lot to that.
Yeah. Yeah. I would.
If only Logitech released a light.
Yeah.
That was small and that could attach to things.
Dude, that whole thing, it's what I'm thinking right now is just like, if only they light, like, so if you don't know, Logitech owns a company called Lytra. Lytra is world renowned for, previously to their acquisition and still to this day, fantastic lights, absolutely wonderful lights. So, I mean, we can't really talk about it today, but if you want to go on Google, type in Logitech Lytra Glow, and you can look for a pocket-sized light. And, maybe we'll talk about it in a future show. Unfortunately, we just don't have like a press release to really get into it. So we can't really talk too much about it. But there's tons of information out there. And they just, it's kind of making a splash right now. So Jared says Council of Joes. I do love that. I couldn't think of the name.
It's my favorite.
I almost put it in the description, but I couldn't think of the name at the time. So rip.
We're always talking about, show names. That's the one.
Yeah. Yeah, it absolutely is. Smirno did say thank you. You're very welcome. Fred the Hippo says, what's the specs of your PC back there?
Oh, here we go.
It's actually, so it's the 12 core Ryzen 3900X, and then it's got 64 gigs of RAM. I think it's 3400 megahertz each, or well, it's running at 3400 megahertz. Graphics card's not impressive, just the 1080. And then it's got a terabyte NVMe and then a 500 gig SSD. So, yeah.
Solid machine.
I love it. Big fan. Sounds like you need to run some HD base T so you can have some remote hookups. What?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that.
I'm Googling it.
Now
it's
we're
a
learning.
Transmitter or something. Yep, it's a transmitter or something. Oh, he's probably talking. You know what he's probably talking about? About me running my stuff from the wall over here to here.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I mean, I do have like one USB 3 port that runs, or hub that goes over here that's got 10 USBs in it. So I only run one. So kind of probably the same concept. Let's see here. Nick says, I know that there is Mevo software to control the cameras, but can the cameras be controlled via Stream Deck? So there is kind of a way to do this, not to like individually control the cameras via Stream Deck, but you could, in theory, use Streamlabs and you can control Streamlabs via Stream Deck. So HScene or I don't even know what's the other terminology.
For what?
Like it's scene and what's the other one?
Source.
So you can control, enable, disable sources and scenes. Which would in theory be able to enable and disable different shots. You could also crop using Streamlabs, version. You can use Streamlabs as cropping a function using the Alt and drag. So you could technically crop full screen or shots into smaller shots. It's literally the same thing that the Mevo does. It's taking a smaller shot and making it bigger. So you could technically set up a lot of scenes where you just have various different crops. Let's see here. Are you able to respond in the Melon app chat like Restream? Yes, we are, aren't we?
Absolutely.
Yeah. What happens? Do I respond? This is me responding.
Probably just hits the
Does
bottom
it
of the chat on.
as me or as Mevo? As Mevo.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
And
Makes
it hits
sense.
each channel. Right.
Super cool. But you can actually select it. I can
You can select
designate which
one you wanna
channel.
do.
Yeah. Yeah. So you
Cool.
can do all, then I can choose Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or whatever various platforms. So yeah, I guess the answer is yes, you can. Does Melon stream out to RTMP? Yeah, I think so, right? I mean, that seems like a Melon app. Feels like
Let me open up my version. I'm pretty sure you can do that in your destinations. Yeah, because we can do custom destinations.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So absolutely. Let's see here. Is the only way to delete video on Multicam to take out the micro SD card and plug it somewhere or use the Mevo app? Can't delete Multicam. You can format Multicam, can't you?
To delete a video in Multicam? I'm not sure what they mean by that because the videos don't get saved in Multicam. They get saved on your.
Yeah, no,
your
exactly.
device.
So DJ Fuzz, you in Multicam, you're not saving to the micro SD card. You're saving it to your mobile device. So
Unless you're trying to delete the SD cards from the cameras, in which case you'd have to do that individually for each. Oh no, because you could format. No, you could format.
You can wipe them out, but you just can't delete
you
individual files.
Correct.
So yeah, if you need to go to an individual camera, then you need to connect to the individual camera using the Mevo single cam app, and then you can delete individual files. Otherwise, you can just format and delete all the SD cards and clear them all out.
Right.
Yeah.
Good question.
Well,
that took me a second.
Yeah, I did. No, and I'm glad you thought of it because I was just like, or you thought about Multicam going to the local device because I didn't think of it. It took me a second. Samuel says, will Mevo live stream multi-stream app and Melon ever be joining together for all your live streaming Mevo cameras? I hope so. I hope everything Logitech is connected at one day because we have so many great solutions. Everything that, I mean, outside of my audio interface right now, and obviously my computer, my mic is Logitech, my camera's Logitech, my lighting's Logitech, my monitoring's Logitech. So, or my mouse and keyboard are Logitech. So I'm telling you, like, if you use all things Logitech, I mean, and this isn't a biased thing because I was a Logitech user before, before the acquisition, but I hope so because it's obviously a great experience. We're having a smooth stream. We sound good. We can hear well. I'm happy. I'm happy with my solution. So, I think we lost you for a second. That was strange.
Where'd it go?
But it was I hope so. I hope we are integrated with Melon and Streamlabs. Look at this guy. Look at him. He is not happy. Relax, buddy. He usually minds his own business. Any thoughts on adding a fourth camera capability at any time? Is it theoretically possible? It is absolutely possible.
Yes.
I think Will has actually done it, and he's actually ran up to 9 or 10 cameras at once using an iPad Pro. The issue is the lower end cameras absolutely will not be able to do it, or not cameras, lower end mobile devices. So older phones, older tablets will not be able to do that. So, yeah, I'm going to make sure I get him outside real quick. You go ahead and answer some of these questions real quick. I'll turn this thing on real quick. Craziness.
All right. So while Joe takes care of that, I'm going to scroll through on the. I'm not going to have them up on the screen, but I'll read them out to you guys. Okay. So Mark on YouTube is saying that our church is a Mevo first gen and wanted to direct feed from the mixing console. Any suggestions? Okay. Do you have? There's a lot of things here. So do you have the Mevo Boost attachment for your first gen Mevo? If you do, then there's some more options there as far as a USB interface. You could do the remote Mevo app, the Mevo mic app, where you can go from your console to a separate device like a cell phone. And if that's running the Mevo app, you can bring that in wirelessly to the camera. Other than that, I think that's it. It's either just USB directly in from the console or using like a wireless lav setup, which could be USB, or using the Mevo mic app. But if you're still using the first generation Mevo and that thing's still going strong, that's awesome. But maybe switch over to the Mevo Start just for that, just for the availability of having the 3.5 millimeter input. I mean, solely
Huge.
for that, it's worth the upgrade just because now you can run a direct line. You know that everything's going to be in sync. You're not dealing with any type of wireless solution, so you're not chancing interference issues or anything like that. So if that's the case, and you have a nice console and you want to go directly to the Mevo, it might be worth it just to get the Mevo Start at this point.
Totally agree. All right, so someone asked, can we use 6 cams at once? So yes, no, you can't. Sorry.
Depending on your setup.
Yeah, so in the Mevo apps, you cannot. You're limited at 3. If you want to use it with Streamlabs, then sure, you can use as many as your network and computer can handle. Via NDI, to be more specific. When is the countdown option coming alive? I don't think we've announced a countdown is coming. Oh, yeah, the Mevo single app has countdown, so Mevo Multicam. Hopefully sooner than later. I really don't know where that comes in on priorities. I know we're working on some really, really cool stuff. I think all of you are going to be super excited about that you'll be happy we worked on before we did countdown, but I don't know where countdown comes in after the next update.
Yeah. And I just got to give a shout out to the team too, the software team.
Yeah.
It's literally every day they're posting stuff about like improvements and what's coming and what they're working on. And they are making a lot of progress at a really, honestly, a very quick rate. It's just a matter of solidifying everything.
You know, what's even more impressive to me was that with all of the bandwidth, like all of the stuff they're working on right now, and like they have very little bandwidth to work on extra stuff or like to do anything outside of, the plan. It's a very strict roadmap right now. But still, Vlad messaged me earlier today. If you guys don't know, that's the head of our software team for Mevo. He messaged me today because he was reading through the Facebook group and he noticed a comment and he was like, technically it's possible. And I'll add it to the list of things we'll do. He said, we don't have the bandwidth for it right now. But the fact that he's even in the Facebook group reading any comments is just, I don't know any company where the head of software is in there and getting direct information and making sure that I have the proper information to let users know that we hear you, we'll add it. We just can't tell you when because it's just, it's tough. So props to him for finding time to do that. A lot of respect from me for sure. Lots of respect. Awesome. Let's see.
I love this question too.
Yeah. Do you know?
Can you stream in one format and record in another?
I know you can stream and record different resolutions. We're
always streaming in HEVC, right? Essentially.
Actually, yeah, I think so. Yeah, and then you're recording. Then you can absolutely do that. So the answer is yes. I'm like sitting here looking for a charged Mevo. I need to get maybe that's something I'll do. I'll just create a base full of Mevos so I can kind of like they use those phone chargers. Do the same thing with Mevos. Great tip on recording change considering we mostly play in championship games about 10 or 11 in a weekend. Holy cow. How do you even keep your Mevo? I was about to say, how do you keep your Mevo alive? Mevo has 6-hour battery. It only takes an hour and a half to charge, so never mind.
Yeah, but that's probably the solution right there is you're probably doing H.264. So, and also take a look at what your write speeds are. Like, are you doing 50 megabytes per second? You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to do that if you want to save some space on your memory.
Yeah, and I mean, to be completely and totally honest, micro SD cards are cheap. Like, I don't even know right now.
Relatively, yeah.
Yeah, so I pulled up a 400 gig. It's like $45 right now. So, it's relatively cheap at the end of the day. I mean, a Samsung 1 terabyte, which I've never tested. Just going to throw that out there. It's $135. So, you could just get a couple other cheaper cards and then switch it out. And it might even help you with games too. So if even if you put a little number on the card, so you're this is game 1, switch it out. Game 2, switch it out. Yep. So I mean, there's a lot of different systems you can. Yeah, there's a lot of different systems you can put in place for sure. And
to put that in perspective too, on a film set or a TV set or anything like that, think of the memory card as a lacy 1 terabyte to 4 terabyte hard drive that gets switched out multiple times a day. Because if you're shooting huge production, if you're shooting a red camera and you're shooting in 4K, 8K, if you're shooting all these extremely high resolutions on a real elaborate production, you're probably going through literally terabytes of data, just in selects for that per day. So, the memory cards, definitely having a bunch on hand is worth it.
Yeah, totally agree. Let's see. Nick says RGB for better frame rates. Absolutely, RGB everywhere. Actually, like my room's kind of like, if I just press my Stream Deck over here, like my lights turn to red, but I don't think red looks good in here personally. I don't know. Maybe if I paint the walls orange for Logi C, maybe orange would look kind of cool. But
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how much I get back on my taxes for using my whole room for an office. Let's see here. Anthony says, can you guys direct me to a tutorial that can help me hook up to OBS and restream in order to use the switching? We do not have a tutorial on...
Yes, we do.
For OBS, we do, but yeah. I think he's talking about switching with Stream Deck and stuff, and then hooking OBS up to Restream. We don't have a guide for all of that. We only have a guide for OBS.
Yeah, but that's the more difficult part, because once you're in Restream, you're just going RTMP from OBS to Restream, and then from there, it's just literally a menu of what destinations you want to put them.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Leslie says we're on a roll today. I don't know what we're on a roll for. There's a lot of stuff going on. I will say this: we haven't messed anything up, so I'm gonna have to agree with you. By the time we seen this, I was like, I don't know what happened. Oh lordy! All right, Pixel says more importantly, video overlay, scrolling text, paused streaming, and app will be great. Wait, hold on. Pausing streaming is not going to happen.
Yeah, the workaround for that would be to put up an overlay with no audio, like a "We'll be back soon," or a countdown until the next segment. Yeah. Because once you stop the stream stops.
It's no longer live. So, it's live streaming. If you pause it, then you're not sending a video feed anymore, and then the platform just cuts it off. Like that's not a feature that we can add. It's either live streaming or you're not streaming. There's no in between.
But video overlays and scrolling text are definitely things that have been discussed for sure.
Intermissions, half times, whatever it may be. Snack time.
Replays.
Yep. Absolutely. David says we're using 3 Mevo starts, hardwired Ethernet, iPad Pro. We have 2 fixed cameras and 1 on movable tribod.
Sick.
Sounds like a solid setup.
Yeah. Sounds like you have options.
Yeah. I don't know, is it Bratch or B-Ratch? I'm late to the live stream here, but are there a lot of differences between Streamlabs streaming software and Melon, other than Melon being browser-based? Actually, tons of difference.
They're just different entirely. Like, so the Streamlabs software is more of a broadcast, live editing, live production kind of software, whereas Melon is more of a wrapped package. So there's presets for where you can put your video, so we don't have free movement over the video. There's certain things that get saved in the cloud, like for example, our intro outro videos. Those will be saved in the cloud, where you don't have to have them as a separate source or scene. So they're just used for different things essentially.
Yeah, and if you want to know why we then settled on Melon, is because it met our needs. So there are different tools for different things. Our needs were, we have 3+ people remote at all times. So we need to be able to bring in guests. We need to be able to hide them, bring them in, make sure their audio is good to go, without concerning ourselves with 3 different plugins and different hacks to bring them in. Mm-hmm. We needed something that was uniform, something that we could set it up to give you some more perspective on this, is like our background here. Our intro and outro, they're all files uploaded and saved on Melon. So if I was to not be at work and I was off work and Joseph and Will were doing it, they could log into the account and it'll have all of our logos, all of our countdowns, and it would be uniform. And then we needed to be able to monitor all of our chat in the same place. Once again, Melon brings that to us, where I think Streamlabs probably does as well. But Streamlabs has a lot of extra features that we didn't need, but also kind of complicated the whole bringing in guests part. If bringing in guests was on Streamlabs, I think we would be on Streamlabs. But it's just the feature set, the way it's been implemented has brought us to Melon. And luckily, it's the same team. So, we get great support regardless of how it plays out. But yeah, it's just different tools for different needs.
That's it.
Yep. Let's see here.
Good questions today. Very good questions today.
Yeah, I'm loving it. And I'm loving that it's a lot of it's Logi related. Logi stuff, not just Mevo stuff, which is really cool. Daryl says, hi guys, I'm moving towards buying a second camera. However, I have a Sony HD Handycam. Is there any way to tie it into my existing Mevo Start and Stream? Yes. Streamlabs. And probably also Melon. I mean, if your Handycam can be used as a webcam, then Melon as well. But yeah, I mean, you just can't do it in the Mevo app at this time. Now, if Multicam NDI input comes in and you can turn that into an NDI source, then sure, you can bring it into Multicam eventually. Just not yet. Just not yet. Let's see here. Slowly scrolling down here.
I see all of your responses.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too. Oh, geez. David says 2 weeks ago we added 2 PTZ Panhead remotes, Amazon for $55 a piece. Are those the what are those called? It's like is it Pivo? Because it's so similar to Mevo and it threw me off. Oh, Pivo's $149. I'd be interested on this Pivo Lite. I'd be interested in knowing what PTZ Panheads use, David. If you could throw a link in here, I'd be curious to see them. We get better each week. This was shared here, and we grabbed the idea. Thanks all. Very happy, David. I'm glad your streams are going well. But yes, please share the link to your PTZ Panheads. I'm curious. I'd like to look into it.
Yeah. And it's cool too when you could just add something for like you said, like $55, but all of a sudden it adds a whole new element to your production.
Huge element. PTZ, like being able to physically move your camera, like that's huge. Yeah. Fred says, any Friday updates? Fred, you're a very close friend of ours. I don't know how many times I've had to tell you we don't give dates for our updates. You've opened some tickets up recently, asking about updates as well. It's me. It's the same person, the same Joe. We don't have fake Joes over there. No, we don't have any. I mean, I hope sooner than later. I don't know the dates. Even if I had them, I don't even know them. I really don't. And since we're customer success now and not specifically only for Mevo, it's harder and harder to keep up with what is going on in the Mevo day-to-day world. So typically we don't get dates until they're ready, just like you. So, it's got to be a rock solid solution before we even discuss when we want to take it out. So it's not, I mean, if we don't release updates just to release updates to say we're fixing stuff, because that's how you break stuff. So, yeah. Can format, I can agree. Let's see here. You have a Multicam. Direct to Melon for the win. That'd be cool. I can't hate on it.
That would be cool.
That would be cool. Diego also asking about updates as well. Same answer. We don't have dates. We unfortunately just don't have dates. We don't release dates also because we need to make sure it's rock solid. If we set a date, then that typically means that the company is already ready to release it and they're waiting. And we're not that type of company. Yeah. We want to make sure
if it's a date, we've gone through QA already.
Yeah. So like if we have a date, that means QA and it's ready to be released. Would you rather us release it immediately or give you a date and then let it sit there for no reason for a couple of days? So,
and to be fair, we've done both, right? Like the webcam was beta, which is still beta, right? I don't even know if it's beta anymore. So we have put out stuff and just been like, hey guys, you tell us what's wrong. And you have. And it's done nothing but help us improve. So just for things like Multicam though, it's hard because like I've seen some things, and really
Multicam was in beta for a while. And the reason that webcam is still in beta opposed to Multicam remaining in beta is because there's so many more variables for webcam mode. It's a more basic app, don't get me wrong, but you've got different builds of Windows, you've got different USB hubs, you've got different, there's just so much different. Like it's not Multicam where we control basically everything. It's a closed system. When you bring into webcam mode, it's just different. Like it's so difficult to even help people because there's just so many variables we can't control. Their network, their modems, routers, switches, the security systems. Yeah, the platform you're using. It's just, are you using Zoom on web browser? Or are you using Zoom on the computer? Are you updated on Zoom? So like now we've got to track all the versions. For example, what was the?
There was a recent one that just came out.
Meets. On Zoom. Yeah, and then Meets also they had a setting where they were like we reverted and it broke things. So like, it's just so difficult to be able to pull that out of beta compared to Multicam. Let's see here. Can Multicam software or Melon work with PTZ Optics cameras? That is a question for PTZ Optics. I have no idea. I would assume so. I mean, I would assume that because I know some PTZ Optics cameras have NDI, so I would assume that you could use NDI webcam input, but I'm completely unfamiliar with,
Yeah, and if you're referring to the Multicam application, that's only Mevo cameras.
Yeah, for now.
There's no, there's no question about
that. Is completely Mevo only at this time. And we have not announced any integration of outside cameras, just to be clear.
Yeah.
I don't want my words to be misunderstood. All right. What would give me the best video quality out of my Mevo Star, H.264 or HEVC? They're going to be equal.
Mm-hmm.
H.264 is going to be a bigger file, so you might get some detail, but HEVC is what we're using right now. And it's basically, it's popular because it's like a lossless quality. So you're splitting your bit rate in half, your data usage in half, but the quality is not noticeably different. Now, if you're doing video editing or something, sure, you could use H.264, but I wouldn't bother personally. If you're to the point where, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, so some things don't. Some things, I mean, most things are, but some things still aren't compatible with HEVC. So sometimes you might have to use 264 depending on what your editing software is. But that's the only place you'd really see it be like cumbersome or anything, or be a problem. And keep in mind, for those who don't know what we're talking about, it's just a different compression algorithm. So essentially, it's taking a video and just chopping everything in half as far as the storage space and stuff on it and how it compresses the file. But you're right, like some video editing software only uses 264. So
Samuel says, I wish that Mevo, Multicam, Melon, and Streamlabs would join together in one program. They're just different tools for different people. But now I will say again, I do hope Mevo is directly integrated with Melon and Streamlabs. But I don't see a necessary, combining them all is just too complicated. They're just different tools for different people, for different projects. But they're all great solutions. And the day that Mevo is integrated in all of them, I'll be a very happy person. Let's see here.
Oh, cool.
I'm slowly zooming down. When will Mevo cameras have high HD sound output for headphones, phones, and for live streaming as well? Like for monitoring?
I'm not sure about that, because the Multicam, if you're in high quality, you're doing 256 kilobytes per second audio, which is good. You don't 128 is good. So you kind of have it already.
Samuel says companion support would be awesome. Do you mean like having a secondary app control your device? Is that what that means? If you could clarify. We have a couple more minutes of the show left. So Fred the Hippo says, do tally lights work in NDI mode? I notice my tally lights rarely reflect active camera. Most of the time the cameras keep a red light. They should. Now, think about it this way, though. If you have your cameras hidden under a source to still use their audio or anything, but you're still on the same scene, it's going to show that it's active. So it doesn't necessarily mean you visually see it. It just means that the source is being used in some way, shape, or form. But yes, it does work. Diego says, I've seen a little delay in the audio when using an external audio source. Sounds like it's happening here as well with Joseph.
Really?
It might be a little bit.
Maybe. You can do a little refresh here. This could.
We have this tendency to talk while we're doing actions. We'll bring him back in.
How am I looking now? Am I out of sync or is it back in sync?
You look good for me.
Yeah.
But we all know that I'm terrible at this. So,
well, that's like, when we talk about Melon, it is a browser-based platform. So syncing and things like that, sometimes just refreshing the browser will just fix it. That's been a situation with NDI in Streamlabs. It's just been more stable Melon than any other platform we've tried, which is why we're here. Yeah, that's why we're here for sure. There you go. Let me know if it looks better. Should look pretty good right now.
This is the thing Samuel was asking in the Facebook group. Yeah, we don't have any plans on releasing a public API for people to build software to control the Mevo. But I'll take the suggestion though, for sure. Samuel says, "What's the link for Melon?" You can go to. Let me see if I can I'll put it up on the screen, but it's melonapp.com. Let me see if I can go ahead and toss this up here. Let's go here. Nope. Hide show. Melonapp.com. Update. Show. Where'd it go? Is it just gone? It's because I have a question. Oh, there it is. There we go. Melonapp.com. Nice. Yeah, and it's free. So I think you get 720p though for the free version, and you're limited to how many guests you can bring on. But you can get a really good feel for everything. See if you like it. See if you have a successful stream. And as your stream grows, if you would decide you want to go to the 1080, you need more guests, you want to go multi-destination, you can look at upgrading. And there's a few different different steps when it comes to that. It's not just like free and not free. There's like 3 different tiers, I think, or maybe 4. It might be free and then 3 paid tiers, but just so you can pick kind of what tier fits you and what you need for you. So you can kind of grow. Melon can grow with your stream. DJ says, definitely still a slight audio delay. I don't know. I don't see it, but it could just be the destination too. Where's... Yeah, I mean, they say I still look... mine's good, but yours is still doing it. I don't know. Very strange. I don't really notice it, so it could very well just be the different platforms. Could be... I don't know. We'll see. Anyways.
Refreshing your browsers.
All right, everyone. Thank you all so much for coming in. Thanks for asking all the questions. It was another successful stream. We're about at the hour. We stayed above 25 viewers. We spent most of our time about 30-ish. So thank you all for coming. Please come back on Tuesday. We come live Tuesdays and Thursdays. You're going to get 2 of us, I think, every Tuesday and Thursday. I'm not sure we're doing single-person shows anymore because we're really trying to tax Melon as much as possible, and that's more possible when you have more than one person. So if you do have any questions, go to help.mevo.com. Until then, we will see you all on Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You will find us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch at Mevo Camera. So until then, we will see you all next time. You have a good day, everyone.